Do negotiations change depending on where you live in the country? Well, let's talk about it. If you don't know, my name's Tommy. I've been in the car industry for most of my adult life. I've done sales, I've done finance, I was a manager, and now I negotiate car deals for a living. But enough about me. Let's talk about where you live and how that impacts your negotiation. I get this comment all the time, which is, hey, I live in a big city. I live in insert city here, Houston, LA, Seattle, wherever it is, and the dealerships don't negotiate. And no matter what we do, they won't budge. So I'm gonna have to go back to the old way. Well, I'll tell you, with my job, I negotiate with people nationwide. I've worked with people in LA, I've worked with people in New York City, I've worked with people in Florida, I've worked with people in the Middle West, and I'll tell you, these tactics, these negotiating online tactics, work with absolutely everybody. It just have to say the right thing. Now let me correct that for a minute. It's not absolutely everybody. I say about 80% of dealerships will negotiate online, 20% won't. They just won't do it, and those 20% you do not want to be working with because it's a huge red flag. Now these big cities, the big thing with these big cities is that a lot of them are still charging crazy prices and they're living like they do in COVID. So you have to be a little bit more selective, and this is why I always say it's extremely important to make sure you have options. If we're looking at a used car, we're finding as many used cars to negotiate with as possible. They're the ones we want. With a new car, again, I normally target about 20 dealerships. I'm not messing around with making sure I get the best possible price. And again, every car is different, but my goal target's normally 20 dealerships. I'm actually gonna double down on this because I just did a Mazda deal in Austin. And because there were so many different Mazda dealerships, I was able to negotiate with them and get much better price. Compare that to one that I actually did in Minnesota in the middle of nowhere, where there was only about 3 or 4 dealerships in a close area. It was much harder for me to get a competitive quote because there was so much less competition. I ended up getting a similar deal either way, but it was so much harder for me going back and forth with that dealership because there was less competition. Competition is what drives price. What people fail to do when they negotiate is give a reason to negotiate. I'll talk to so many people. I do free consultations all the time, and most people say, well, I ask for a discount, and they say no. Well, when I ask for a discount or you're doing anything along those lines, you have to give them a reason to give you a discount. If they don't believe you deserve a discount, guess what? They are not going to give you one. So you have to remember, dealerships are trying to make the most amount of money possible. And again, nothing inherently wrong about it. I'll tell everybody, it's not a problem that dealerships are trying to make money. This is a game. We're just trying to beat them at their own game. They're willing to negotiate. We're going to do that, but we need to give them reasons. And we give them reasons by having options. If we have options to buy elsewhere, they have to evaluate if they're willing to sell us the car at that price. If it's a new car, they might have incentives to chase. If it's a used car, it might be an old unit they're trying to get rid of, and they would rather buy it, they know we're gonna buy, rather get rid of it with us and lose a few $100 than get rid of it with the next guy. This is how we're negotiating. We're giving people reasons to actually discount the price rather than hopes and dreams, which so many people use, and it just doesn't work. Now, I wanna leave you with one final point. Sometimes when negotiating, we have to understand that price isn't the only thing we're chasing. There are some dealerships that will be stubborn and stick on a price. When I negotiate a car deal, everything is on the table. Service. So if I'm buying a used car and there's something I want done to that car, there's a more likelihood if they won't negotiate on price, they might negotiate on service. I might be able to get 4 sets of new tires. I might be able to get a new brake job done. Whatever that thing I want is, or again, I did a deal with a truck just recently. I got a bed liner thrown in. Think about these as potential negotiation options. If you're thinking about buying a warranty, think about trying to have that warranty thrown in for free. It's a much lower cost to the dealership, and they might do that versus negotiating. Again, lots of things that can be on the table. Sometimes you have to get creative. Remember that your trade has some money, and interest rates also something that can be negotiated. Don't get just so stubborn on the price of the vehicle. If you need to negotiate other things to add value, absolutely do that. That's enough for today. Again, I make a video 3 times a day, so if you guys like content like this, I want you to like, follow, subscribe for more. But thank you guys so much, and have a great day.